In fact, from here to his final martyrdom, there it was nothing but peril and danger. Actually, that had been the pattern since the day he was let down in the basket over the wall in Damascus. Damascus. In this chapter, we will learn that the high priest Ananias and the elder came down from Jerusalem to accuse Paul before Felix. Paul is accused of sedition, rebellion, and profaning the temple. So that in that section. Now let's go on to section verses 1 through 9. Paul before Felix, verse 1. And after 5 days, Ananias the high priest descended with the elders with a certain orator named Tertullus, who informed the governor against Paul. The accusers didn't waste time. They came down after 5 days in order to press charges against Paul. They brought with them the man of Tertullus, who would act as the prosecuting attorney. He was a clever and well prepared man. The charge he brought was very well prepared too. It was brief and to the point. I think he did the best he could with the charges he had. Verse 2. And when he had called forth Tertullus, began to accuse him, saying, seeing that by thee we enjoy great quietness, and that very worthy deeds are done unto this nation by thy providence. He starts out with flattery in this address to Felix. This had nothing in the world to do with the charges against Paul. Verse 3, we accept it always and in all places, most noble Felix, with all thankfulness. Believe me, he is really buttering up the governor. Verse 4, notwithstanding that I be not further tedious unto thee, I pray thee that thou wouldst hear us for thy clemency a few words. For we have found this man a pestilent fellow, and a mover of sedition among all the Jews throughout the world, and a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. He calls Paul a mover of sedition. He couldn't prove that, of course. Verse 6, who also have gone about to profane the temple, whom we took and would have judged according to our law. But the chief captain, Lysias, came up upon us and with great violence took him away out of our hands, commanding his accusers to come unto thee by examining of whose thyself mayest take knowledge of all these things whereof we accuse him. And the Jews also ascended, saying that these things were so. The Jews are the religious rulers who came down to press charges. Notice he makes subtle uh, insinuations about the way the chief captain handled the case. He cannot charge him with dereliction of duty, but that is a faint breath of criticism to the governor. He says the Jews could have handled this case adequately themselves. He has nothing but flattery for Felix, unjust charges against Paul, and subtle insinuations against Claudius Lysias. Lysias by the charges against Paul. So the charges against Paul are that he is a mover of sedition. He is a leader of a rebellious sect, and he has profaned the temple. Tertullus presents these charges for the religious rulers. Now Paul makes his defense before Felix, and that ends